Hello, I'm Bert Garrison. I'm here at Monticello, Illinois' Eli Field, the world famous Eli Field, and I'm participating in Illini Superjets. I used to fly the full-scale SR-71 back in '97. Actually, I am the last U.S. Air Force SR-71 pilot. I flew the last flight on October 10th of 1997. And I'm tickled to death that the guys at E-flite have asked me to debut this beautiful SR-71. I was coming off of a turn down from an airline job, and as a joke, a guy put an assignment announcement on my desk for the SR-71. I was still in the Air Force, so I needed to stay in, but I had no job because I had to leave my current assignment. I looked at the assignment notice, I said, I qualify, so I applied. And long story short, they selected me, and I became an SR-71 pilot. A lot of people think that we had to air refuel right after takeoff because the airplane leaked so much fuel on the ground. The reality is it only leaked about 50 gallons, and that's because the airframe expands at cruise because the skin temperature in some places gets up to 700 degrees Fahrenheit. So they had to build expansion joints in, and the wings, these are fuel tanks in the wing. The wing is a full fuel tank. And these corrugations allow the fuel to get somewhat cooled by the airflow. But the seams in these tanks would leak and you would see it dripping down. So the reason we refueled right after takeoff wasn't because of the leaking. It was because we took off with a half fuel load for safety reasons, for the tires, for the airspeed, to be able to lose an engine and still take off or stop in the remaining runway. So we took off typically with 40 to 60,000 pounds of fuel, and then we topped off to 80,000 pounds to start the mission. I flew at Mach 3.2, and I know that sounds like a letdown, like, oh, why weren't you gonna say 5, Mach 5? The airplane was designed to go 3.2. That was its design goal and its sweet spot. I don't think many people flew it over 3.3 or 3.4. There's plenty of books on the subject. You can look all that up. But my top speed was 3.2 Mach. That is 1 mile every 2 seconds. What are my thoughts about the model? I am tickled to death. This thing, they did it. The development team did a great job getting all the panel lines correct. It would make a beautiful display model if you never flew it. I just got done flying it, and it flies like the full scale. Not Mach 3, but it does the high alpha like the full scale. It rolls like the full scale. It slows down for your flare. It allows you many times to get the landing right before you flare. We flew it with no landing gear, so we belly landed it, and it just comes in nice on the tail and then slides right down on the grass. I think you guys hit it out of the park, and it's going to be a popular model. When did I start flying RC? I'm an old guy now. I started back in 1974 when I was in high school. I got my first radio-controlled airplane, and I did it the wrong way. I got talked into getting a full house, so rudder, elevator, aileron, throttle. It was a low-wing trainer, and I got up to the solo point, and on my solo flight, I destroyed the airplane. So, being a broke high school student, I saved my money and I bought some glider kits and Mark's Windward. Some people remember the Windward and the Windfree. And I mounted an 049 power pod on it. And so I would just, every day after school, I would go out and power up and glide down until I couldn't stand it anymore. And then it just progressed from there. I've owned an RC model since 1974. Flown helicopters, warbirds, sport planes, fun flies. And recently, I've gotten into turbine jets, and that's why I'm here at this event. So 2 years I started flying turbines. What's my grab and go airplane? What do I just really like? I'd just rather just fly it and have fun. Anything STOL, like a timber, any of the timbers, a Cub, anything that I could just cruise around and chill and do touch and goes. Believe it or not, that's what I enjoy most. I enjoy slow flying, just cruising around. Anything that has big fat wheels and a lot of power. What is my favorite Horizon hobby model? That's an easy question, and without hesitation, I'm going to say the Carbon Z T28, the newest one, the yellow one. I know that doesn't fit my grab and go, but it's second to my grab and go because I love the way that plane flies. It does all the aerobatics. You could do an IMAC routine with that airplane if you wanted to. Flies inverted all day long. It lands slow. That's another out of the park Horizon product. I love the T28 Carbon Z.
Let's go fly.
All right, let's do it. Let's go fly. I really like the way it carves the turns. I want to hit the
Right? Or hit the car track.
scheme. But this is an airplane that begs to be flown fast.
Yes.
It needs to fly fast. I can feel that. It will slow down, but I guess it's like a boat. You know, if you don't get the boat up on plane, it just starts to dog.
It will fly slow. It's happy flying slow. It'll warn you if it gets too slow, but it also feels weird flying it slow, right?
It's going to be real high alpha.
Yes.
Let's come by. We'll come by and do a slow pass with it. I'm really pulling back on it. It's nice and groovy. Coming back on the power.
Super low bank and yank is where it's just so much fun.
Now it's starting to settle on me. Power's coming in. AS3X is working good. It's nice and smooth.
And again, right, if you get anxious or nervous, especially with the orientation side, you have safe to flip back into.
That's right.
Right?
That's right. If you lose orientation,
just
hit
flip
that
into
safe button.
and take a second to figure out where you're at.
Let's test that real quick.
Go ahead.
Oh yeah, perfect. Now I see where I
It's gonna
am.
be straight and level. You can figure out where you're at.
Come back out of it.
Yep.
Nice. That's about half throttle right there. Full throttle. Probably hard to photograph. The real airplane, the full-scale airplane was hard to photograph. Yeah, you guys knocked it out of the park. Looks good, flies well. It's going to be popular.
It's definitely, to me, it's one of those that you sit on your desk, right? When you're not flying it, because it's got so much character to it.
It does.
Yeah, you're probably about 20% left in the pack.
All right, so we need to think about coming in.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna bring it on in, across the runway, and land in the grass over here. So I did your technique this morning, and
a little power right in there, and it'll hold right with it, and then right off of it.
I got a little high.
And that's what's cool about it, right? Is it'll sit in the bucket and just fly.
And you know, that is exactly the way the full-scale airplane flew. You had several chances in the flare because of that big delta wing and those chines, all that lift. If you screwed it up, just hold it there and then come on back, and then she'd settle right on down. So this is spot on. Good job.
Thank you, buddy. Appreciate
You
it.
bet.